Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Economic Elevation, our Money in the Morning class, where we get together and we talk about Black wealth and we build our wealth as a community. We learn how to prepare for the next generation so we can all be great again because we're supposed to be great. We're supposed to be on top. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a good day today. And I'm sending out a quick text message to let everybody know the class is starting. I want to talk today a little bit about a couple of things that are happening in the world of financial markets. One has to do with this thing you might have heard of called Bitcoin. In case you don't know, Bitcoin is on fire. And if you didn't know that Bitcoin is on fire, then that means we've got work to do in terms of helping to elevate your financial consciousness. Part of making money is knowing where the money's at and when the money's showing up. So it's like if I'm hungry and the food arrives, but I'm asleep when the food arrives, then I'm gonna wake up starving. Right? I'm speaking from experience. So what you should be paying attention to, in my opinion, is what's happening right now with crypto, what's happening right now with Bitcoin. It is absolutely exploding. A ton of money is being made. And I hope that some of you are making money. I know that there are a lot of crypto enthusiasts in the room. A lot of you have heard me talk extensively ad nauseum about Bitcoin and what I believe about Bitcoin. If you want to know what I believe, in case you weren't here, in case you just started, it's okay to be new. It's all right. Is that I believe Bitcoin is a great investment. I think Bitcoin long term, all the fundamentals point to great things happening in Bitcoin. Now I want to make it clear that nobody has a crystal ball, right? Nobody knows for sure what any asset's going to really do, but you can make a best guess based on the information that you have. And that's really important for you to also understand about investing. Give me a guess if you understand that sometimes investing comes with losses. Give me a yes if you understand that sometimes investing comes with mistakes. Give me a yes if you understand that to be an investor, to make money, you have to be willing to lose money. If you're not willing to lose money, then you should not invest because you'll never ever make any money. Because investing is not like a paycheck. Investing is not like your 9 to 5 job where all you do is you get money from your boss, but your boss never comes in and asks you to pay any bills. Your boss never comes in and says, "Hey, we're behind on the mortgage or the rent. We need you to help pay some of that." The boss doesn't come in and say, "Hey, we had a bad quarter, so I'm gonna have to cut your pay. And I need you to cover some of that." That doesn't happen, right? Because there's a cost to being the boss. There's a cost to being the boss, and a lot of people don't understand that. That's why, even as a business owner, I don't talk to people about how much money we make because they wouldn't understand it. They only see things in terms of paychecks. They don't understand that to make that level of money, you have to invest like crazy. That money has to leave your pocket almost as fast as it's coming in, and there's a lot of uncertainties there. Let me give you an example. That one time I told you guys that Tyler Perry called me in 2014, 2015. I had no idea why. I still don't know why. I just know that my assistant reaches out and says Tyler Perry wants to talk to you. I was like, okay. So we talked on the phone, and the day before, I had just seen Tyler Perry on the cover of a magazine, and on the cover of this magazine, he brought a lot of attention to himself because he was the highest paid person in Hollywood. So all the people in LA were just kind of freaked out, like, how did this guy who's making these little, these interesting little movies for a specific demographic that puts on a dress, in every movie. How's he making so much money? And so they were kind of flipped out about that. They were I think they were probably annoyed by that. And I remember I asked him, I said, how does it feel to be on the cover of a magazine as the highest paid person in Hollywood? And he said, I hate it. And I said, well, why do you hate it? He said, because everybody sees how much money you made on the top line, but they don't understand how much money it costs for you to even run a business like that. He said they didn't see that yet. Just yesterday, I paid. I think he might have been Alan Payne. I think he said something like they don't know that I just paid this actor over here $2.3 million. They don't know that I had to pay this much money to do this and this much money to do that. All they see is the paycheck, and I agree with him. The paycheck mentality is one where you assume that money comes in a consistent flow. and that it's going to just sort of be the same amount every time. But when you get to the world of investing, it ain't like that. Investing is riding a Bronco. Investing has ups and downs. Investing means sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Running a business means that sometimes you're making money, sometimes you're losing money. Being a business owner means that sometimes you're the highest paid person in the company, sometimes you're the lowest paid person in the company. And running a business also means that when everybody else goes home after their 9 to 5 and expects to get their check, you have to stay and work late, and you ain't getting a check from nobody. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how often in my life I have worked for free. I can't tell you how often in my life I continue to work for free. I work for free all the time. And so people will say, well, why would you work for free? You should get a paycheck for that. You should get money for that. You're Dr. Boyce. You should get paid for that. And I'm like, no, because here's the thing. If you are willing to work without getting paid, then eventually you will get paid without working. You got to earn, you got to go through one to get to the other. And this is an investor's mindset. This is the mindset that you have to give to your children. This is the mindset that your grandkids need to have. This is the mindset of wealth builders. Wealth builders spend a lot of money. A lot of money goes out of your pocket. You have to deal with a lot of ups and downs. That's why we created the first ever Black financial therapy department, because I said we need therapists up in here, because Black folks that I know, many of them they can't handle volatility. They can't handle ups and downs. They don't know how to process risk without having a trauma response, where fear causes you to sell your asset too soon. Fear causes you to run away. Fear causes you to hate on somebody because they're going into a fire that you won't go into. Fear causes you to say, oh, stay away. Don't do that. Oh, no, don't do that. And what happens is that you miss all the opportunities that are on the other side of the difficulty. That's what you miss out on. So when you sit back and you have people that are mad at you because you've been consistently investing in the stock market every month for the last 12 years, and they're really upset at you because you have $182,492.18 in your bank account, and their bank account is on empty, just, unfortunately, you have to forgive them, for they know not what they do. But really what's happening is that they don't have the perspective. They don't understand how you were able to consistently sacrifice. They don't understand how you consistently invested. They don't understand how you consistently stuck with the plan, even during the difficult times, because those are the people that tend to build wealth. And this comes up as I think about Bitcoin, because I'm going to give y'all some stats that's going to really hurt your feelings. Some of y'all going to be mad about this. Some of y'all going to love it. Some of y'all going to hate it. But you know what? I got to tell you the truth. The truth does not care how you feel about it. The truth only exists as it is. And I'm not going to take a lot of your time today, because I've got so much stuff this happening. In fact, just a reminder, Sunday, Andre C. Hatchett is showing folks. He's doing a study session on mobile notary training. So if you want to be a mobile notary to make extra money, that's a great way to make extra money. Apparently, there's a big need for people that can notarize documents and go to people's houses. So I'll send you guys a link to that. If you want to get these things that I send out, these notifications, get on our text list. You can get on the text list by texting the word morning to the number 87948. So text morning to 87948. I'll also send you a class reminder. Number two, those of you that want to go with us to Ghana, we're doing a family business trip to Ghana, where we're all headed out there in July. You have to go ahead and get your immunization for yellow fever done. It's not hard to do. There's lots of places in every city. I went to a place called Passport Health and got my immunization when I went back in 2019. And then also you have to get a visa from the embassy. They can expedite that. So if you want to go to Ghana, you want more information on the trip, we're doing a session on Tuesday. So if you want to get notified for that, you can text the word travel to the number 87948. So pull out your phone, text travel to 87948. I'll send you information on the Ghana trip. It's life-changing. I guarantee you that much. You won't be the same person when you come back. All right, so let's talk about Bitcoin. First off, let me show you all graphically what's happened with Bitcoin and the just insanely meteoric rise that's been happening with Bitcoin. See, the media loves because I guess the media has, this whole thing with the politics of America and everything. So they love to kind of talk about the bad things that are happening, but for some reason, they're not really talking as much about the good things that are happening in the economy. So let me be the one to show you one of the good things that's happening right now in the economy. You look here, you see Bitcoin, it's down a little bit today. It's down 2% today, but look at the last 5 days. It's gone up 2.6%. It's up to 109,000. It's gone. Look at the last month, 17% rise. That's insane. 109,000. Now I remember when I used to talk about Bitcoin hitting 100,000, and people called me crazy. I had to deal with a lot of people who said, "Well, he said Bitcoin was going to go to 100,000. Look at Bitcoin now." Well, look at Bitcoin now, you idiot. Bitcoin was always going to go up to 100,000. The government just sort of got in the way. But here you can see that there is a lot of money being made in crypto and Bitcoin. This is if you held Bitcoin the last year, you made a 57% return on your investment. 57% return on the investment. If you held the last 5 years, you made a 1,000% return because you could have bought it for 1/10 of the price today. If you bought it many years ago, say, I don't know, let's go back to 2016, you could have bought a Bitcoin for $453, and now it would be worth $109,000. So here's the deal. Here's what I want you to kind of think about right now, right? I want you to think about anything in your life that in 2016 you would have spent $450 on. A lot of you might have spent $450 on a car note. And you probably, and then, but the thing about a car note is it doesn't happen once. You can't make one car note payment and then own the car typically they're going to expect you to keep doing it over and over again, right? Making the car note payment is like having sex. You don't just inject once, you repeat yourself, right? So they screw you over and over and over again. It becomes a big Diddy party on your bank account. So a lot of maybe some of us spent $450. What are some other things that 450? A purse? There we go. Lady Emma says a purse. What else? So I just showed you where you could have bought your bitcoins for $453. What else could you have put $453 toward? Tell me some other things. A flight to Miami, concert tickets. Yep, we love Beyonce. Da, 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 da. Hairstyle. Oh, some people spend that much on their hair. Okay. And I hope your hair lasted 9 years. A weekend getaway, a dinner. Kevin Brooks, go out with Kevin. Kevin's a big spender on dinner. That's a big dinner. A bottle of Hennessy at the club. Yeah, they'll get you with that one, won't they? Yeah, but you the littest person at the club, but you the brokest person in the world 10 years later. Glasses, okay, a spa treatment, a new phone, a total outfit, shoes. Somebody said baby oil. That's hilarious. A tire for my BMW, dinner, hair, evening gown. Okay, so my point is to say that there are a lot of things that we probably spent $453 on, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've told you that. I told you I'm not a person that's ever going to tell you to feel bad about what you spent money on. What concerns me is that 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 you didn't think about the important stuff first. What concerns me is not that you spent $453 getting your hair done. What concerns me is that you didn't say, well, I can do that, but I got to make my investments first. What concerns me is that you thought about looking good before you thought about making sure that you were going to be good. You thought about dealing with your insecurity of my hair, my looks, my car before you started making sure you have financial security, right? You went for the dessert before you ate your vegetables. Does that make sense? You have to eat dinner before you get to the dessert. They got you in a society where they train you to eat dessert first. They're like, here, eat 8 pounds of ice cream, and then let's see if you have an appetite for green beans after that. You won't. So the spending the 453 on stupid stuff, that join the club, everybody does that. I've done it. I did it. My we had our anniversary, me and my wife. I think that the place we ate dinner at was about $240. We stayed in a hotel room that was insanely expensive, so high that I'm embarrassed to tell you, but I wanted to impress her. I just, I don't know. I kind of thought it'd be something nice. And also we had a driver that drove us to the place because I didn't want to deal with Chicago traffic. So he drove us, and then he also drove us home. That alone probably cost $300 total. Okay. So everybody spends money. There's nothing wrong with spending money, but I'll be damned if you will ever catch me spending that kind of money without making my investments first. While I was in the car and sort of sitting there thinking about how much all that stuff costs, I was actually telling her about Oklo stock. You guys know? Does anybody know about Oklo? If you've been following me, you know all about Oklo because I've been talking about this stock for about a year now. Let me show you Oklo. I was really excited when I saw what happened with this stock. It kind of did something crazy. It went berserk this week. Let me show you. It's up 26% today. So let me share the screen. And this is the stuff that you miss out on when you don't invest. You don't get a chance to be a part of this. This is these are the good days, right? This stock is up 25% today. Look at the last week. Look at this. I mean, look at this. It was $35 a little more than a week ago. Now it's at $50, $49.80. That's crazy. Look at the last year, 556% return. So this stock that's $50, $49, and I've been talking about this stock every week for like a year and a half. Have I not? I'm sorry I'm yelling. Forgive me. I'm elevated right now. I need to calm down. How many of y'all have heard me talk about this stock? Give me a yes in the chat if you've heard me mention Oklo. And I've just casually said, I've never told you what to invest in. I do not give investing advice, but I have said it over and over. I said, this is one of my favorite companies. Sam Altman owns a piece of this company. They're building small modular reactors that are gonna be powering AI, right? I've been talking about Oklo. I've been talking about it. So I'm not telling you that you're supposed to just hang on my every word. I'm not asking you to do any of that, but it's not like you didn't know about this. If you were coming to class, you knew about this. And now look at this freaking thing. It's 557% up from where it was a year ago. If you bought it, 5 years ago, you're talking about what, 396. So this stock was trading at one point at $10. Now it's at 50. It's had its dips. Here it had a big jump up to what's that, 55 something, and now it's rising back up to its former glory. So investing is fun because when the good stuff happens, you get to be a part of that. And there's no better feeling than to make money when you don't have to actually work for it. That's a really good feeling. And so what I encourage you to do is to position yourself so you can get those rewards. Your money should be working for you. I'm not saying that everybody in here is rich. I know that a lot of you and a lot of us are not rich yet, and that's okay. I was really, really broke in grad school. I was so broke I had to break my lease. I couldn't even pay my rent. I had to leave in the middle of the night. That's what I had to do at 28 years old. So so it's okay to be broke. What's not okay is to accept that as the default state of existence. What's not okay is you're B1. B1, that's the greatest, most extraordinary group of people on the planet. You're special. You come from a powerful lineage. You're not supposed to be in the mud. You're not supposed to be participating in garbage culture. You're not supposed to be letting people step all over you. You're not supposed to be sitting there blind, deaf, dumb, stupid, missing opportunities. That's not who you are. You're special. You are the talented 10th. And so be that and go where the wealth is. The wealth is power. Money is power. Never let anybody talk you out of that. I'm not saying money is not God. Money should not be worshiped. I would never ever say that to you. But if you think you can get through in America and claim things like freedom and you ain't got no money, you ain't gonna be free for very long because they're gonna make you into a slave. So let's break those chains. All right. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Bitcoin in terms of just just how interesting it's been over the last few years to kind of watch the rise of Bitcoin. So here's a couple things, right? That'll just kind of, I think, freak you out a little bit. Um so if you had invested $500 in Bitcoin in 2014, you'd have $60,000 right now. If you had invested $1,000 in Bitcoin in 2014, you'd have $120,000. If you'd invested $10,000 in Bitcoin in 2014, you would be a millionaire. You'd have 1.2 million liquid in your account. That would have been difficult for a lot of people because Bitcoin has seen a lot of drama since that time. Bitcoin has ups and downs. There's a lot of volatility attached. Right now, the administration is very, very pro crypto, very, very supportive of Bitcoin among other cryptos. That's why you're seeing this big rise. There's probably going to be a crash. There will be a crash. I just want to warn you in advance. I want to let you know now there's going to be a crash. Bitcoin's going to look real ugly. But based on the history, Bitcoin has a type of resilience that it has just kept it going. And I really believe that it comes back to these people they call the hodlers, the people that hold on for dear life, the ones who will never sell their Bitcoin no matter what. These are the individuals that keep it going. Most investments need to have some sort of sturdiness in their infrastructure that helps them get through the tough times, right? Like you were someone's investment. You had a mother and a father, hopefully, and at least a mother, hopefully a father too, or at least one parent. Hopefully you had at least one of them that basically was willing to go down with the ship, right? You had that one parent at least maybe two if you're lucky. In the Black community, unfortunately, we many of us only have one, and some for some reason people think that's normal. I don't think that's normal at all. And you had somebody that was willing to die for you. You had at least one person who was willing to take care of you if you were healthy or unhealthy, if you were ugly or pretty. You could have been disabled, and that person would have been there to take care of you. You could have went out and become a serial killer and murdered 87 people, and that person would have still visited you in jail. Right? You had one person that was just there, just in. And this is powerful. This is what Bitcoin has as well. Bitcoin has this group of people, and thank God for them, because that's what gives me faith in Bitcoin. The hodlers are the people that say, we will go down with this ship. We don't care if Bitcoin is worth $100,000 or if it's worth 100,000 pennies. We will go down with the ship. We will ride or die with this thing because we believe in this thing, because our belief and our connection to this asset is far deeper than money. See, money has power, but I need you to understand there are things that are more powerful than money. So the money is important, but the money in many cases is not the definition of that which is meaningful. Money is the manifestation of that which is meaningful. Money is not the core of anything most of the time. Money is a symptom of something else. So when you're a wealthy man, your money does not make you into a special man. Your money does not make you into a great man. Your money is a reflection of the fact that you've chosen to be a great man on a day-to-day basis. Your money is a reflection of the fact that you've chosen to be a hardworking woman every day, right? So even when the money's gone, this is important to understand, because sometimes we don't have the money that we want. But it's very important for you to not focus so much on the money as a defining principle of what you are and what you represent. Remember, the money is just a reflection. The money is just a decoration. It's another. It's like a track athlete winning another medal. The medal is nice, but it's really the workouts and the agility of the athlete, and all the talent of the athlete and the commitment of the athlete and the dedication of the athlete that really actually reflects the core value. Do you understand? So the core value of Bitcoin, in my opinion, comes from the people that believe in Bitcoin. Currency is fascinating because currency is one of those things that such that if you don't believe in the currency, then the currency will cease to have value. Most things in life have value because you believe in them. So I want to ask you this question. Do you believe in Black people? Do you believe in the Black family? Do you believe in Black culture? Do you believe in us? Do you believe in B1 culture? Do you believe in this? If you believe in it, then it becomes valuable. And the more you believe in it, the more valuable it becomes. If you don't believe in it, then it won't have value, because you're looking for somebody else to validate it. And then you say, oh, I believe in it because they believe in it. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. This whole thing that we're trying to do, this whole wealth revolution that we're in the middle of, that we're actually accomplishing now, that's going to be remembered for the next 400 years. This is something that doesn't work if everybody's committed to being a bunch of followers. You can't be a follower and to make this work. It just won't work. You have to believe in something, and you have to say, it has value, not because someone told me it has value. It has value because I decided it's going to have value. And that's such an important concept when it comes to things like starting your own business. Because I can tell you the truth, when you start your business, ain't nobody going to see the value but you. That's what it is. When I started saying, I kind of want Dr. Boyce Watkins, I want that name to mean something. It only meant something to me and a couple other people I knew. But then I did have people that were willing to go down with the ship. My best investor, my biggest investor was my baby brother. My baby brother, he believed in me because I used to change his diapers. He believed in me because I fed him when he was hungry. I spent thousands of hours on the phone with him. When I went away to college, I would bring him to campus and he'd hung out with me. So he was willing to go down with the ship, and that became my initial investor. So if Boyce was Bitcoin, like think about Boyce coin. So I'm a coin that has a value that's somewhat subjective based on what people believe. So the Boyce coin comes out, ain't nobody buying the Boyce coin, but he becomes the hodler in the Boyce coin that maintained its value even during difficult times. Do you understand? So it was me and him. We were the believers in this, right? So ultimately, when you have those people like the hodlers in Bitcoin that will go down with the ship, that believe in the value no matter what, then when the value starts to actually manifest itself and the rest of the world starts catching up, then those people are the greatest beneficiaries as well. Like when you become a millionaire, if you're not there already, your mother or your father or that person who was your first investor is going to get a tremendous benefit because they not because they invested in you late. They not because they invested in you after you got wealthy. They're going to get the benefit because they invested in you before you got wealthy. They got there early. Early investors on the what they call the cap table, those are the ones who get the greatest benefits. So you have to be on the cap table or something. You have to be somewhat of a leader. You have to find something that you're pouring into that you believe in no matter what. Starts with your kids, starts with yourself, starts with your business, things like that. This is why the Black family business can be so valuable, is because if you have the right mindset, then everyone believes in the value of this thing. And because you believe in the value of it, you're investing in it. And because you're investing in it, it grows in value. Things don't grow if you don't pour into them. Right? We talked about this. Right? You don't feed the baby's going to die. Right. So the belief drives the action drives the wealth. Do you see? So, but if you don't believe, then you're not going to invest in it. And when you don't invest in it, it's going to die. Psychologists call that a self-fulfilling prophecy. That literally you have the ability to tell your own future. You have a little crystal ball in your life that where you might not be able to tell everybody else's future, but you can tell your own. So these self-fulfilling prophecies are really, really important because they link back to things like our own self-belief. Who do we think we are? How special do we believe we are? How meaningful do we think something is? Because if you look in a lot of Black communities, you drive through a lot of Black neighborhoods, you don't see very much investment. And the fact that you don't see much investment is a reflection of the fact that no one believes in those communities enough to invest in them. Because if people believed in those communities and they were investing billions into those neighborhoods would look much different. So anyway, with Bitcoin, here's the deal. If you'd invested in Bitcoin, if you put $500 in 2014, that $500 would now be 60,000. If you put $10,000 in 2014 in Bitcoin, that would now be worth about 3 million. You'd be a multimillionaire. Sorry, scratch that. I said that wrong. If you put 10,000 a year in Bitcoin since 2014, which you probably spent 10,000 a year on something else, you would now have $3 million. You'd be a multimillionaire. If you put just $500 a year in Bitcoin since 2014, you'd actually have $149,898.73. If you put $1,000 a year in Bitcoin since 2014, you'd have $299,797.46 available, which means that you could tell your boss to kiss your Black ass and quit. So that's where I want you to get to. I want you to get to the point where you have what I call FU money. FU money means that if your boss gets on your nerves and you don't want to work that job anymore, you can say, F you, I'm out, I quit. And you would then be able to still be okay financially. So get your FU money together. You start by building that. You start by investing consistently. There'll be other opportunities like Oklo in the future. Oklo was just one that I saw this week because I know that that's a big celebration, a group celebration, because I know a lot of you have taken a look at that asset because we've talked about it so much in options class. But there's others out there that I think are going to just do amazing things, but you have to be in the game in order to have a chance to win it. So make sure you're investing consistently. It's really important. All right, so a few things I want to mention before we go in terms of just reminders. Number one, we're having an economic elevation circle meeting on Monday, and that's our family business meeting, basically where we get together and talk about generational wealth and legacy and our 100-year family plan. If you'd like to be a part of the economic elevation circles, they meet monthly. You can go to economicelevationcircle.com. That's economicelevationcircle.com. Secondly, somebody type that in the chat, please. Economicelevationcircle.com. Put that in the chat for me. Number two, the All Black National Convention. The tickets are finally ready. The team had a lot of logistical stuff to work out, but the tickets are ready, and I'm going to offer them to you guys. I'm not actually really out begging people to come to the convention. I only want the right people there, but there will be amazing people there. We have 6 African presidents that are coming to the convention this year. It's going to be off the chain. The president of Tuskegee is going to be there. A lot of great people, and we're partnering with Dr. Ken Harris from the Black Business League, started by Booker T. Washington, and it's going to be thousands and thousands of Black business owners planning for the future. Just connecting all throughout the world, in America, in the diaspora, just all over. There's an economic revolution not just happening here; it's happening all throughout the globe, and I want you to be a part of that. So if you want to join us, I'll make the tickets available to you right away. That's going to happen probably tomorrow, the next day. I got to talk to the event planner. She says that the tickets are ready though. Third, Andre Hatchett is doing the mobile notary stuff on Sunday. I'll text that out to you. Make sure you're on the text list for this class. If you're not, text the word morning to the number 87948. Text morning to 87948. And also, if you have an interest in crypto, the crypto club is meeting next Tuesday at 8:30. So if you want to join the crypto program, you can do a free trial at b1crypto.com. This B, the number one crypto.com. So we bring in crypto experts that pretty much crypto is a beautiful market for one big reason. In finance, we would call crypto an inefficient market. An inefficient market is one where you can get certain information that's publicly available and make investing predictions based on that information that actually have a great chance of being successful. The stock market is what you call a highly efficient market, which means that it's very hard to like open the Wall Street Journal and read up about a company and know that that company is going to go up because for various reasons that we don't have to go into, but for various reasons, the market is super smart. It picks up all that information. So you think that you're going to go buy Exxon because you heard that they discovered a new oil well, but the market already knows that. So the price is already adjusted for the benefits of owning the oil well. So it's very hard to look at publicly available information and to hop out and wait, somebody's copied something here. Oh, thank you, Sonia. She just took the whole email and she just put it in there. There we go. So read Sonia's email. There we go. Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate it. That's why I love working with y'all. Thank you so much. And yes, it is, Deborah, it is b1crypto.com, be the number one crypto.com. So crypto, in my view, is a great market because there's lots of information that anybody can go pick up, things that are publicly known that are great indicators of where the price of that asset is going to be. For example, I invest heavily in Bitcoin every week consistently because all the dynamics of Bitcoins point upward. Nothing's guaranteed. That's really important. Don't forget that nothing's guaranteed. But Lord, I mean, if there was ever it's like a train wreck in slow motion, but it's not a wreck. It's like something good. But like I feel like I'm watching Bitcoin rise in slow motion and I mean, if I'm frustrated with anything, I'm frustrated by the fact that I didn't believe myself as much as I should have. I knew Bitcoin was going to. I was like, wow, everything about this asset says that it's probably going to hit 100,000 and beyond. If you go back and listen to videos I did 6 years ago, I was saying this, and so now it's over 100,000. But I think, on the horizon is 150, 200, 250, 300. The thing about Bitcoin that makes it hard, though, is that Bitcoin does not give you a smooth ride. Bitcoin will play with you. Bitcoin is like that roller coaster at the amusement park where they do everything they can to make you feel like you're going to die, and then you don't die, and you keep going. That's what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin pretty much has given the impression that it's not going to last very long, and it's had so many haters. It's like 50 Cent. It got shot 9 times by the government, and it keeps on rising. So, long story short, I believe Bitcoin is a great investment. I also believe that there are other cryptos out there that are strong investments as well. And so, if you want to get together and talk to our experts about that in the Black Business School, feel free to go to b1crypto.com and you can join the crypto club. And remember, with every membership, you can bring your whole family. We want to educate the family. I don't want you to just educate yourself. I need you to educate your kids, your cousins, everybody else. I don't have a single student. I do not teach students. I only teach teachers. So I need you to be the Black leader that you've been waiting for. You are the leader. You have it. You got the juice. You got what you need. Go ahead and just start talking. Do your best. You ain't got to be perfect. That's it. I mean, you're not going to be perfect. Just do your best. If you do that, I guarantee you will push your family so far ahead of the curve. Let me give you an example. I'm saying this is I'm going to be done. My grandmother was my number one financial influencer, but my grandmother never invested in the stock market. My grandmother didn't have a college degree. She had an associate's degree. So, but what she told me, the basic stuff she told me based on common sense, was enough for me to sort of build on top of. Do you understand? Because a lot of financial outcomes, people think it's all about how long you went to school and what you studied and all that. Let me tell you a secret. I went to China with my wife years ago, and we went to about 3 different regions of China, and we saw thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs getting their grind on, making all kinds of money. And I bet you less than 2% of them went to college. So it's all a fantasy to believe that going to school and giving $100,000 to some university is a requirement to be good at making money in business and investing. That's just not true. You've always understood investing. You know what delayed gratification means. You know what it means to sacrifice. You know what it means to, you know what it means when people say scared money don't make money. You know what it means to take a chance. You know what it means to work hard towards something. You've been doing it your whole life. You've been an investor since you were a child. You just didn't know it. So ultimately, what I would just say to you is just convert that into money, because what tends to occur is I think that if we think that money's not for us and we think that wealth is for other people, we tend to ignore the wealth. And I think that the wealth would be very beneficial for a lot of us because we have a lot of problems that are directly linked to our economics. A lot of our pain is linked to how we make our money. We have to make our money the hard way, which adds a lot of stress. When you go to that job, that's a lot of stress. When you're having night sweats trying to pay the bills, that's a lot of stress. Or when you're dealing with relatives that are doing crazy, ridiculous things because of money, just ghetto stuff. I had a friend that told me about how her cousin, they started one of those crazy little Ponzi schemes that they were real popular during the pandemic. They call them blessing looms, where your cousin sends you an email and says, if you put in $100 and I put in $100, we'll all have $1,000 because God's going to bless us. And but really, it involves you getting two people, and then those two people getting two people, and all the other crap that doesn't work. And she literally said that she got to the point, it got to the point in her family where there was, it's not a susu, Charles. It's not, they called it a susu. That is not a susu though. All a susu is real simple. A susu is everybody put their money in a pot, and then once every 10 weeks or whatever, one person will get all the money in the pot, right? Or a big chunk of the money in the pot. So all Susu is organized savings, right? So if I'm saving 100 a week and you're saving 100 a week, and there's 10 of us saving 100 a week, that's $1,000 a week, or not quite, well, sorry, $1,000 every 10 days. And so what a Susu does is after 10 days, they pick one person and give them the whole $1,000. So you're giving and you're receiving. The math is mathing on a susu. The math makes sense. Now for most susus, traditional susus, they don't have things like compound interest and investing. That's the only thing I would add to the susu to make it just right. But Lord, all the susu we're all saving, and the math makes sense because susus, which are very old ways of building wealth, susus understand that 2 plus 2 equals 4. But when you get to the fake susus, right, the little scams, they'll tell you that 2 plus 2 is 187, or 2 plus 2 is -12. And so what they're doing is they're building all this. They're building this illusion off of they manipulate your hope. They get you hoping for things and believing in things that simply are not true. And they also sort of take you away from the fundamentals of wealth building, which means that if you want to have something, somebody's going to have to make a sacrifice. Anybody selling you a fast money scheme is only selling you more pain and more trauma typically. It really, that's what they're doing. So long story short, I would say to you that so let me tell you what happened to a friend, then we'll be done. Yeah, so she told me that they were doing this. They called it a susu, but it was not a susu. I said, no, that's not a susu. That's a Ponzi scheme. Anything that's like, if you get two people and those two people get two more people, that's pretty close to being a Ponzi scheme. So just so you know, that's one thing to look for. And basically, she said her cousin told the whole family that if he does not get his $1,500 back, he's going to come to the house and shoot everybody. And so they had to give him his money back because they were about to have a family massacre that came from the family susu, so-called susu. Susus don't do that. Susus are not designed to create mass murder. That's not what a susu does. A susu is designed to create generational wealth, not generational homicide. So be mindful of how you invest and who you invest with and what you get involved with, because it's some of the stuff doesn't make any sense. But there is always risk with investing. Don't forget that too. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm about to get out of here, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, get on the text list for this class if you want to get an invitation every morning. We do this every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I love you and I'm proud of you. And it's an honor to be on this